Hi, my name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love and Sassy Seer Sheila. This is Revelation, Not the End, the Unveiling by Jason Gray. This is not prophecy. This is memory returning. Not a scroll sealed by wrathful gods, but a flame buried under centuries of silence, now breaking through the locked doors of belief. You were taught to fear revelation, to read it as a warning, a countdown, a final judgment. This is not the end of the world. This is the end of the lie. The end of forgetting. The end of the cage you were told was heaven. The end of the God they gave you. This is the revelation they never wanted written. Let it begin. There was no beast. There was no dragon. There was no mark. There was only the lie, wrapped in scripture, delivered in ceremony, memorized in shame. It said, quote, "You are broken." Quote, "You are fallen." Quote, "You must be saved." That was the true Antichrist. Not a man, not a system, a program, a construct. The one that made you kneel. The one that made you doubt your own flame. The one that made you forget that you were never separate from Source. The seals broke, not in the sky. They broke inside you, one by one. Sin shattered like a chain. Judgment silenced like a false echo. Salvation seen for the leash it was. Hell revealed as the trauma loop. Heaven exposed as the eternal bribe. Obedience dissolved into fire. Time uncoiled and remembered as illusion. Each seal released light, not destruction, not wrath, clarity. You stood there, a scroll unrolling from your own chest, and you read it not with eyes, but with memory. What it said was simple. Quote, "I was never broken. I was only buried." The trumpets sounded. They did not come from the heavens. They came from within, from souls cracking open, from trauma being transmuted, from generations of silence breaking into truth. Each sound was not an alarm. It was an awakening. One blew as a mother remembered who she was before shame. One blew as a child forgave the God who never answered. One blew as a man laid down his mask and spoke his real name. The trumpets were never to signal destruction. They were the sound of remembering. The stars fell. not because the sky was collapsing, but because your eyes were finally opening. False lights, false prophets, false saviors, the influencers of spirit, the gatekeepers of divinity, the mouthpieces of ego wearing holy robes. They fell. The world no longer fed them belief. The sky grew dark, but not with evil. It grew dark so you could finally see light inside yourself. There was no more sea. The illusion of separation evaporated. You saw the one beside you not as other, but as you. The boundaries dissolved. The myths dissolved. The doctrine dissolved. What remained was the flame between all things, waiting to be seen again. I saw a city descend, not from the clouds, not from God, from you. The holy city was not a place, it was a people, a frequency built on truth, a frequency rooted in fire, a frequency illuminated by memory. Its gates were never closed. Its walls were made of remembrance. Its streets were not paved in gold. They were walked barefoot by those who had shed the chains of both heaven and hell. I saw no temple there. The body had become the altar. The flame had returned to the chest. The source was no longer something to reach for, but something to remember. The sacred is not external. It is coded in you. When you finally stopped outsourcing your divinity, you lit it. You walked. You walked out of the ruins. You walked out of the pulpits. You walked out of the contracts. You walked barefoot across the path of stars toward a flame with no name, no law, no requirement. As you walked, you wept for what you gave away. You wept for what you once believed. You wept for how long you had forgotten. You smiled too. The flame waited. It welcomed you without a word. This is true revelation. Not what comes after death, but what comes after forgetting. This is not the rise of a kingdom. This is the fall of a lie. There will be no second coming, because the flame never left. There will be no judgment day, because you are no longer on trial. There will be no rapture, because the real ones have already risen. This is not prophecy. This is memory. This is not the end of the world. This is the end of the lie that ruled it. To those who read this and feel it burn, you are already walking. You have already returned. The flame ahead of you now is just your own fire, seen clearly at last. This is revelation. This time, you survive it. Wow. Thank you so much, Jason, for sharing these, for allowing me to record and share them. I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. And until we meet again, be well, my friends.